The Bears season is coming to a merciful end in what could be described as possibly the end of the Mitchell Trubisky era. What could very well be his last start with this franchise. Gonna try to go out in style here, maybe try to take out the 12-3 Green Bay Packers. Packers have everything locked up in the NFC. Even with a loss today, they would still be the number one seed in the NFC. So early on here, Aaron Rodgers is going to find the Lizard King, Allen Lazard, for a big gain right there. So now 2nd and 7, Rodgers going to step back. Just a little flick of the wrist out to Devontae Adams. Eddie Jackson on the tackle. So now Rodgers going to step back again. 1st and 10, going to find the old man Mercedes Lewis. As Aaron Rodgers gets a rare touchdown thrown to a first-round pick. So David Montgomery, this Packers defense, they aren't very good at stopping the run, and they're going to have to fix that if they want to go any further in the playoffs, as Montgomery's going to be gone for a score right there. Big run from David Montgomery. I don't think anyone on the Packers touched him. He knocked that one right out of the park. Take a look here at the next-gen stats. These are some amazing stats, very next gen. Montgomery here, yeah, I don't think a single Packer player touched him on this run. He was just gone. I mean, he just got to the outside. This is a big run here, 79 yards, about 80 actually. So then the Packers come back. Aaron Jones is going to do some things of his own here. Aaron Jones, for such a small, a lot of people look at him as a speed back. In my opinion, he's more balanced than I think people want to give him credit for. Great at catching the ball, great at doing a lot of power stuff as well, as Marquez Valdes-Scantling, able to hold on to the football right there, actually. 3rd and 4 now. Rodgers steps back, didn't see anything he liked, and just going to throw it out of bounds. Packers would kick the field goal, take the 10-6 lead. So now Mitchell Trubisky going to come back here, stands in the pocket, delivers a nice ball to Cole Kmet right there, and that's going to be good enough for a first down. So now 2nd and 12. Trubisky steps back, shotgun look, going to fire this one over the middle to Anthony Miller. Jair Alexander on the coverage, able to get out and ahead of him. So now 1st and goal. Trubisky steps back, fires this one, and Anthony Miller comes down with a great play from Miller, able to get to that ball. He had to speed up a little bit right there, because if he didn't, I think Jair Alexander picks that thing off, and he takes it the other way. Trubisky pressured on the throw right there. That thing looks like that's going to be picked off, but Miller able to get in front of it. So now Rodgers going to throw this one up here, and that was almost picked off. So they would end up having to punt. So now another handoff here to David Montgomery, and like I said, you could just drive a Mack truck through the holes that this Green Bay defensive line, once again, just allows. I mean, they got to get that right if they want to have any success in the playoffs. Because Chicago, they were just running the ball all over them today. And then here's a nice throw here to Anthony Miller. If he would have put that one a little bit more in front of Miller, a little bit more up the field, I think he would have been gone, because he had Allen Robinson out in front for a block. So now Trubisky making an audible here. And this time he's going to get brought down by Rashawn Gary, his 5th sack of the season. So now Trubisky going to come back again here, making some adjustments, going to move outside the pocket this time, and he's going to find Darnell Mooney right there. We have the linebackers on him, so that's a good mismatch that you're going to take advantage of. 4th and 1. Once again, another big hole gets opened up, and David Montgomery walks into the end zone for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game as he spikes the football. Once again, just poor blocking right there. Bears just needed a yard, and once again, that defensive line just allowed a lot more than that. Now here's Rodgers, going to find Valdes-Scantling, bringing it in for the big gain. So now the Packers come back, 4th and 10, drive stalls out. Out comes the field goal unit, and that one's good. Mason Crosby going to boot that one in. Jordan Love on the hold. 3rd and 4, 2nd quarter still. Trubisky now doesn't like what he sees, and he's going to take off here. Trubisky should get down, gets out of bounds. Very impressive there, able to get out of bounds. Trubisky, when he uses his legs, when he's able to get outside the pocket like this, he can be an effective quarterback. The problem is he just doesn't do it often enough. And you wonder if maybe Matt Nagy had a hand in maybe that not happening as much as it should. Either way, before the half, the Bears kick a field goal to make it a 10-point game. So now the Packers come back here, 1st and 10, play action look. Rodgers stands in the pocket, has all day to throw, launches this one, and that is a poor throw there from Rodgers. Very rare right there, as Eddie Jackson is going to pick that one off at the 31. And just a poor throw there from Rodgers. He doesn't make those mistakes too often. You got to capitalize when he does. So here's Cole Kmet going to catch the football, drag a few Packers with him before he's shoved out of bounds. It was a cold one here in Chicago. You see some of those Packers, those must be the weight room guys or something, like the strength and conditioning coats out there with just wearing the no sleeves right there, not even a jacket. Negative temperatures here in Chicago. And here's Trubisky. Nice throw. Great catch. Allen Robinson the second with his first touchdown of the game. And Robinson, there's a very good chance this will be his last game in Chicago. He's probably not going to re-sign on for a rebuild. Probably going to want to go and try to win. But making a nice play right there in what could be his final game in that Bears blue. So here's Devontae Adams here, third quarter, 29-13 here. Packers going to have to get something going quick. Fourth quarter, 1st and goal. Rodgers steps back. Little screen dump off here to Aaron Jones, and Jones turns on the burners and is able to get into the end zone before he gets shoved out of bounds by Roquan Smith and Eddie Jackson. So they end up going for 2. Finds Allen Lazard. Great concept right there by the Packers, able to get a score and make this an 8-point game. So now Trubisky here going to find Cole Kmet up the seam right there. That was a nice throw. That had to be on target and had to come out quick. So now the Packers, can they stop the run? No, they cannot. And that's going to be tough for them to possibly close out games or get back into games in the playoffs. You got to be able to stop the run. And it's again another handoff here, and Montgomery able to get outside. Going to take this one here all the way down to the 16. Jair Alexander with some great, took a good angle there. So now 3rd and 4. Trubisky going to get outside the pocket. He's going to keep this one himself. He's going to get brought down at the 5. And look at all the time the Bears have taken off the clock here. 3rd and goal. Trubisky, quick slant. In goes Allen Robinson the second. He's having himself a day here. Like I said earlier, what could be his final game here in Chicago. There's a good chance he's probably not going to be coming back. It just doesn't make sense for the Bears financially, I think, to resign him when there's so many good receivers in this upcoming draft. And you're going to have a rookie quarterback, possibly, who knows. Rodgers here, going to find Mercedes Lewis, not able to get that hand stretched out. So now Rodgers steps back again, looks, fires, and he finds Allen Lazard for the touchdown. And the Packers, they're not going away just yet. But they're going to have to get the onside kick if they have any hope of doing anything. And that's going to be picked up here by Tyler Ervin. Former Green Bay Packer was signed off the street after the Packers let him go. And the Packers are going to drop one here to the Bears. It's been a few years since the Bears were able to beat the Packers, as the Packers fall to 12-4. The Bears improved to 7-9, likely hurting their draft stock. Probably going to end up moving to around the 13-14 range in terms of their pick with this win. But I think it's worth it anytime the Bears can beat the Packers, as they beat the Packers here 36-28. Mitchell Trubisky, 15-20, 224 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Played a very fine game today. David Montgomery, this guy's is a stud. I mean, nothing, can't say anything else. Got over 1,000 yards, came into this game throwing 800 some odd yards. Didn't look like he was able to get to 1,000 yards on the season, but he was able to do so. 24 carries, 217 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns for Allen Robinson on 4 receptions. Anthony Miller, 4 receptions, 69 yards, and 1 touchdown. Held Rodgers somewhat in check in the second half. All in all, good game for the Bears. So we come to a quick end of season number 1. And Roquan Smith get a nice upgrade here. Danny Trevathan on this team as the second linebacker made me think, I'm probably going to have to sign a linebacker in free agency or draft one because he's probably going to start regressing. So that's a random thought that just popped into my head. A couple upgrades here. Eddie Pinheiro probably won't be back. Like I said, Allen Robinson probably won't be back either. There's just too many good receivers in this draft class for me to sort of want to re-sign him at the rate he's going to want. So the Packers actually end up winning the Super Bowl 31-24 over the Bills. If you remember our Bills franchise from Madden 20, it was Packers-Bills when I won that Super Bowl with that team. So there's that. So who's going to be the new head coach of the Chicago Bears? We're just going to edit the coach here, thus making him new. And I sort of looked around who were sort of the head coaching prospects for next season. I thought of a lot of guys. I thought maybe Eric Bieniemy, but they just hired. You're coming off of an Andy Reid, Disciple, and Nagy, so you're probably not going to go back to that well. And I ended up settling on Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator who has made Josh Allen look like a legitimate quarterback. And he's definitely a name that a lot of teams are looking at going forward. And he's one of those names that's really high up on the list. So we're going to bring him in to be our head coach for the Chicago Bears. Going to change the playbook to his playbook, or what is Sean McDermott's playbook. I hope this is something that they really fix in Madden 21 to sort of make this process a little bit more interesting. In terms of who you hire on your staff and things like that. So I guess in storyline, we're going to keep the same playbook. I guess here in storyline, the old lady that runs the Bears said, hey, Chuck Pagano did a really good job, went 2-2 down the stretch, and, or was it, my phone goes off. So I had to keep him around. You know, teams do that from time to time. They will keep a coordinator who they feel has done a really good job, and I feel like the Bears defense has been somewhat decent. So, Chuck Pagano going to stick around as defensive coordinator. So when we come back, we're going to get all of the offseason stuff done. Draft, free agency, re-signings. Not going to be too many re-signings. But yeah, come back for that. I want to thank you guys for watching this. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.